thing.
100.7 WMMS.
Oh, that iHeartRadio app, boy. They got it down to a science over there. People are still sending me clips of the ads interrupting me talking. Starting to wonder if maybe the ads that are interrupting are triggered by certain words in the actual podcast itself, which would put us into a whole other completely different area of trouble. Here's a clip somebody sent me.
Listen, we got to the meat of it. Mike was high. Yeah, that explains a lot.
Mike, we just got the Bartesian. It's like having a full bar in our home.
Sounds amazing.
You can't even tell where the ad starts. I mean, you know what I mean? If you, to the untrained ear, the first time you hear it, you think that So it starts an ad with a guy talking to a guy named Mike. And we were just talking about a guy about. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I can't even put words to it. It's. Trust me, there are plenty of segments I've done over the years in this program. I would love for someone to interrupt, to just stop midway through and put me out of my goddamn misery, all right? But most of the time, it's not the app. It's not the algorithms that need to be doing that.
Listen, we got to the meat of it. Mike was high. Yeah, that explains a lot.
Mike, we just got the Bartesian. It's like having a full bar in our home.
Sounds
very important. Ad
That's
for the
crazy.
Bartesian. Well,
So,
that's one of those
we
big,
said Mike-
big hulking machines you put in your house, and then you fill it with goo or something, and it makes whatever drinks you want.
Now that we said Mike a bunch of times, we'll see if that triggers the ad for tomorrow's podcast.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, I can't believe I'm saying this, but miracles do happen. But the Chicago White Sox, oh, no, they lost. The White Sox lost in Chicago last night to the Cleveland Guardians. Couldn't happen to a nicer team. 5-3 was the final there last night. The White Sox go to 33 and 112. It is almost inhuman how hard they've worked to lose repeatedly into the triple digits. But the Guardians get another crack at them tonight. That's a 7:40 start here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. Guardians Live pregame will begin 30 minutes prior, and then the Guardians will put the White Sox out of their misery tomorrow afternoon before they come home through the weekend, start up that 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Our friend, local pop culture icon, Alan Cox Show comedy tour alum, and WKYC Channel 3 anchor Mike Polk Jr. You know, he is rightfully accredited with the term Factory of Sadness for Browns Bank Park. And he did a piece on Channel 3 asking, hey, with all this Deshaun Watson mishigas, what are we getting out of this? Because a lot of people, what is the payoff for our moral compromise? Did you see his piece on Channel 3?
I did not,
No, but I
let's-
would love to.
Yeah.
he's so good.
It's a funny piece.
Than what is obtained. But that's what makes this Brown situation particularly tragic. It's not that we made a Faustian bargain. It's that the devil isn't even holding up his end of the deal. We're not just booing because the team played poorly. We're booing because when Robert Johnson made his unsavory bargain, he at least got to enjoy some amazing music as a result. When he got back from the crossroads, he didn't pick up the guitar and sound like this. That wouldn't have been fair, right? So, as Browns fans, where is the temporary reward we are due in exchange for the moral compromise we made? Because until we see it, I'd wager that we're in store to hear a lot more booing this season. On the field and in our minds. But hey, it's just one game, folks. And after yesterday, the music can't get much worse, right? Stay up, gang, and go Browns.
Oh, Mike Polk. There it is, boy. On Channel 3. And I'm pretty sure that aired before the latest Deshaun Watson case dropped, which was while we were on the air yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it was around 4 o'clock is when that came out.
Yeah.
So he probably filmed it before, and then this probably played. It might have played in the evening news, but I don't think it was.
Browns fans have booed a lot of people over the years. I mean, I've been here a
have.
decade and a half, and I have, in my first days here, I didn't know anything about anything with respect to local sports culture. And now I feel like I know too much.
There shouldn't be this much to know.
Well, I don't just mean about him. I mean about at every possible turn. There are people who still can't understand why they got rid of Baker Mayfield. And so Deshaun Watson, who, unless I'm misreading the tea leaves here, the guy had, one amazing season. He had 1 or 2 great seasons, right?
He
Before we got him, like
he
wasn't a
about 3.
legend.
No, he was a top quarterback. He
for a
put
couple
together-
of years, right?
Yeah, and like the last season he played very well. The team wasn't good, but he still played very well. And then he sat out an entire season, and then he like basically sat out for 2 full years before they played again. So he just, and then he never got back to that.
I was gonna say, if you're out for 2 years, man, I don't care what kind of workouts you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna. So I don't know. It remains to be seen what will happen. I think that obviously the calls for the Browns to unload this dude are getting louder and louder.
I mean, they've been loud. And this, for me, I'm one of those where I'm like, I hope this is enough, although I'm not going to get my hopes up too high.
Well, no, but
because
this is what you were out yesterday.
historically-
But what we were talking about yesterday when this new allegation dropped is I said, this goes from this guy likes a lot of people touching it in a really weird way to full-on sexual assault.
This is
Like
rape.
this,
Yeah,
yes,
this is
this
rape,
latest allegation is a rape beef that this guy grabbed.
And it's,
So, and if you want to make yourself feel bad, read the complaint in its entirety because it's online.
it's one of those things where it goes back to when they first signed him, and I feel the exact same way now that I did then, where it's like, how much is football worth to you? Honestly. And I mean that from a standpoint
That's
as
the
a
Polk
city.
thing, right?
As
Like,
a city.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. It's hard not to watch the Browns. I understand that. That sucks. It's part of your life growing up. But is it worth this? Is it literally supporting a rapist? Is that worth it to you?
Well, the question I asked yesterday was, how would everybody feel if all this information was the same, but he was killing it? That's when people have that decision to make. It's real easy when he sucks. I mean, everybody likes to boo guys in this town, right? I mean, when I was in
wants to boo. Nobody.
well,
like,
but Browns fans have gotten themselves a lot of practice.
yeah,
a lot of practice.
There's been plenty to boo, but in this case, it's like Polk said. People thought they were signing up for. They're like, if he wins us, a lot of people had that feeling of, as long as we're winning football games, I don't care, and it's gross. And Mary makes very solid points, because it's really hard to see people cheer for this.
Well, Mary,
team.
you could answer this then, because when people go, as the people who say, as long as we're winning football games, I'm fine with it. Now, to most of us, it doesn't matter because we don't get anything out of it.
Right.
Win or lose, it doesn't change my life at all. But people make the case. When a team's killing it, there's businesses downtown that are doing better. There's more people coming out. Right? You were over there at
I
the Wink and
understand that.
Lizard for a while. Now, again, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's worth any of it. I'm just saying those people have a different calculus than just standard fans who like when their team wins.
Right, but I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, okay, I bartend. Sundays were always my biggest day. I worked doubles on Sundays. I'd make a couple $100,
Sure.
Enough money to pay all my bills for a month in one shift. And I get that if the team is winning, but again, it's at what cost? At what cost are you cheering for a rapist?
Understood. I'm just
I mean,
saying,
to call it-
I
to
wonder
call
if
it
those
what it
people have a
is,
different calculus.
To
People
fully
have bills
call
to
it
pay.
what it is, I get that you have bills to pay, and from that point of view, we're like, hey, I've never been a fan of the team. I don't give two craps about football, but if it brings people in and I have kids to feed, that I understand.
Right.
Those are not generally the people who are speaking out, though. It's generally people who are like, well, I've always liked the Browns, and my dad liked the Browns, so what am I supposed to do? Not watch the Browns?
Exactly.
Those are the people that I take issue with, where it's
Right.
like, I get it. Every Sunday, my family knew not to call me on Sundays. Don't plan an event. I'm not coming to the pumpkin patch. I'm watching the Browns game. And that hasn't happened in a few years because I don't feel comfortable cheering for anybody with those types of allegations.
That's why you want to talk about businesses doing well. That's how all the local pumpkin patches have done so well, because Mary Santora is free on Sundays now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, invite me to your pumpkin patch.
Give some warm apple cider.
Yeah.
Maybe a cinnamon donut.
Yeah.
Dunkaroo.
So in a
Ooh, I
nor-
am excited for some fall activities.
in a normal situation, I'm always thinking, well, at what point do they show up at this guy's house and go, "You're under arrest"? Because
Well, that's the problem, is that all of these accusations are all a couple years old. So you can't do a rape kit. You're not going to have any solid, hard evidence
Physical
like
evidence,
that. It's going to be a he said, she said in court.
yeah, but they
and
put
see where
Harvey
it
Weinstein
goes.
in prison, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be he said, she said in court and see what happens.
Yeah. What fall activities, William?
Oh,
Are you going to pumpkin patches?
I'll probably hit up a pumpkin patch or two.
Really?
With the girlfriend. And,
Huh.
Yeah, we'll probably do the. We went to one last year and it had a corn maze and it had.
They had the wine. You do the corn maze with the wine. Those
no,
are fun.
No, we did the corn maze. We went in the morning. Like we went early.
I don't understand what the problem is. You can still drink wine in the morning.
Well, she doesn't drink.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Bill's going to be morning hammered in a corn maze by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no other way to do it, really. I mean,
but it's a good time. The one that we went to had like paintball and all sorts. We could shoot apples. You could shoot like
apples.
Yeah, like they had like crab apples. You could shoot at zombie targets. Very fun stuff.
All right.
And they had a big old tortoise. I kind of
A
remember
live tortoise?
Yeah, a live tortoise.
Yeah.
Got to pet him, feed him some food.
Wow. See, I don't associate a tortoise with a fall activity.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
weird.
either,
Yeah.
but he was there.
They changed your mind.
They keep tortoises alive all year long.
Well, they live for a very long.
Yeah,
they
so-
outlive
so
their
they-
owners. And all that.
They had like a petting zoo at this farm. So,
Mhm.
and the tortoise was part of the petting zoo.
Wow.
It's out there on the east side somewhere, like way east.
Al, baby, hate the show. Having a ciggy break. Yeah, if you smoke cigarettes in New York, you are insane. They're like $15. But here, Sheetz does it right. You get $2 off on my 2 packs of American Spirits. So basically 2 for $20. Keep on smoking, baby.
See, he's flying the flag out there. Now, Mary doesn't smoke. She's out there in New York City, and she's not spending no $15 on a pack of cigarettes.
No,
But
I'm
that
not.
guy, he's out there.
Keep on smoking, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Keep on smoking, baby. Hey, it's your money, your lungs. Do what you want to with it.
Okay, 2 cartoon references. First one is that I completely agree with Alan on the.
I love when this show generates people's memories of cartoon. I mean, we do it here on the show all the time.
yeah.
It's always Simpson stuff. Half of our brains are Bob's Burgers and Simpsons and all that, but I like when it comes out in the wash with the audience.
Okay, 2 cartoon references. First one is that I completely agree with Alan on the Mr. Pibb / Pibb Extra being the superior beverage to Dr. Pepper. I like both, but they're good. There was an episode of American Dad where Stan and his wife, there has this recurring storyline throughout their lives about how important Mr. Pibb has been to them, to the point where they're the only people that still take the Mr. Pibb factory tour.
Mr. Pibb has really seen us through some times, hasn't he?
Ah, Mr. Pibb, the cornerstone of our love. Delicious, refreshing, and totally lacking in pretension.
He's not one of those doctor sodas, putting on airs and flashing around his Ivy League diploma.
Second cartoon reference, anytime Mary talks about her manager in New York, do you remember there was an episode of The Simpsons where Bart opens a casino in the treehouse, I think?
Yeah.
And they get Robert Goulet to come play the treehouse. He has a question about why he's performing in a treehouse, and he says that he wants to ask his manager. The response was, "Your manager says for you to shut up."
Nelson,
Which
yeah.
he responds, Vera said that. So, anyways, I hope that Mary's manager's name is Vera.
Are you sure this is the casino? I think I should call my manager.
Your manager says for you to shut up.
Vera said that?
Your manager's, his name isn't Vera, is it?
It's not. It's Adam.
Adam. His name's not Adam Vera, is it?
It is not.
Ah, so close. Well, they both have 4 letters, and that's
True.
close enough for me.
There you go.
All right, but from now on, whenever you start talking about your manager, we're gonna say your manager said for Adam said for you to shut up.
Shut up.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, he's out there working for you.
I hope so.
He's trying to work for you. That's his job.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Everything takes so much time in this stupid industry.
Oh, dude,
Justice is glacial.
This is ridiculous.
you know, like the people that are working on the story of my time in the Philippines, like that is still in the works. It's been 6 years.
It's ridiculous.
They'll shop it, they'll get someone interested, and then they'll pull out, and then they'll shop it again, and someone's like, oh, okay, and then they'll pull out, and it's just like 6 years. So now whenever they're like, hey, so-and-so's, I'm like, okay, let me know when something's signed. Let me know when like.
But it also has to be frustrating, when you hear about people who They spend many, many years writing something and then getting it financed and then making it and then release. There's this passion project, whatever it is. I'm talking about high-profile people.
Right.
And they spend 6, 7, 8 years putting something together, and then nobody cares.
Yeah.
And, man, that's got to suck. I mean, obviously, you want everybody to enjoy what you're doing and get the same out of it that you kind of put into it. But, like, I think if Bradley Cooper did this movie called Maestro, it was about Leonard Bernstein, who was this very famous conductor, and he was closeted.
Author of the Bernstein Bears.
The Berenstain, Leonard Berenstain, yes. He was a conductor, but he also enjoyed cartoon bears. He contained multitudes. But Bradley Cooper famously worked for like a decade on this movie. And he cast it, and he got it financed, and he was writing it. He was doing all these other projects, doing movies along the way over the course of that decade as your career is moving apace. And he finally put the thing out, and it was very clearly Oscar bait. It just, nobody cared. It's on Netflix. It's there. You can watch it. But to put all that time and, even if you're working low budge, it's not cheap. It's a lot of money.
And you can't get the time back.
Right.
And time is money, Bill. You can always make more money. You can't make more time.
See, we've been, the push lately has been to get like a really tight 5 minutes for late night. And I've been working on it for like a month and getting tapes and sending him, okay, change this, do this. And then finally I got 2 that I liked. And I said, here, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm not rearranging another thing. This is the 30th friggin' tape I've sent you. If you don't like it, then we're just not going to do it. And I thought
you drew a hard line in the sand.
Well, because at some point we've got to stop. Do you know what I mean? Like at some point, I'm not going to get a 1,000% exactly perfect tape to send to them. It's not going to happen. So I sent in the last 2 late last week, and I was like, all right, what happens next? I thought we were further along in the process than we were. I thought conversations had already been had and meetings were set up, and this was like the step before getting approval to do it.
Right.
And
you're like, I just need the address of the office to show
He's
up.
Like, okay, now I need you to find out who books this.
Well, no, he's like, okay, we're thinking probably spring 2025. And I'm like, why? I don't understand. And he's like, well, they're probably, this is like our opening email. This is our introductory.
Yes.
Is to send them this and talk to them, and then we'll go from there. They're probably booked out for the rest of the year. I'm like, so I've been killing myself for the last month, stressing out over all of this for something that might not ever happen. And if it does happen, earliest is April or May. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, this is infuriating. I don't know why I didn't think that was how it was going to go. But I was like, with the amount of, we've been talking about this and pressure we've been putting on it, and what felt like urgency was like, this is stupid.
Do you think, given the time frame he's given you, that it has anything to do with them raising the price of the Mega Millions tickets?
Probably.
Ooh,
so that it
think
both
about
comes out at the same time.
Yep. Mega Millions tickets prices go up, Mary's project comes out. Something there. Well, I guess you've got to manifest harder.
I know. I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I think a lot of these people, too, assume that every one of their clients has 100 irons in the fire. So they're like, oh, well, I'm working on this. You go and work on X, Y, and Z. And some people are like, no, that's my main iron.
Right.
I got a couple irons.
Or I don't want another iron.
I want this to be my main
this
iron.
iron out. This iron's hot now.
Right.
I don't want to put anything else in there.
This iron's hot now.
Cook this iron.
Beat this thing into a sword, and let's start kicking ass.
Yes.
Right, I feel you.
Just go on, kill Tony.
I know.
Get on there. Why don't you just go on there, Mary?
I'll try my best.
Just go on there.
I'm and Joe Rogan on the same.
Yeah, just go on Joe Rogan. Great. Come on, man. I'm going to take a break here. You want to go see Skillet? Skillet might not be your favorite band, but they are quietly one of the biggest bands in the world. So they have a ton of fans, and they are coming through to play a show for you.